Hello, welcome to Keyforge. I am Zoc. We're a little bit late today, but the show must go on. Yes, let's get going. It is episode 25 of Keyforge. And what do we got going on for today? We're going to do a quick little pass on the latest news. We have 2 weeks of the latest high SAS decks for sale to catch up on in fresh marks. And then we'll do a quick little overlook of upcoming streams. So let's jump right in. What's up, Dinobot? Nice to see you. Let us check out the Ghost Galaxy news. We'll jump right into, they had released on Keyforging.com the Learn and Master the Crucible update, which announced the release of the new Learn to Play Keyforge document, an update to the Keyforge Master Rulebook, and an update to the Keyforge Tournament Rules and Guidelines. And I'm not going to go into the details, but I would recommend that you check out Orion's Twitch stream from Sunday, where he went through all the updates in the Master Rulebook. That is on twitch.tv/floxum_all. Let's see, does he have... Yeah, I think he's got the VOD on there. He does have the VOD on there from 4 days ago, new rules. So check that out, twitch.tv/floxumall. Let me put the link in the chat as well. He does a really good job of going over all the latest rules updates. There's a few clarifications in the rules, which is good. And there's actually some spoilers in the rules for Grim Reminders as well. So yeah, check that out. I also have an update to the Keyforge Tournament Rules and Guidelines, which goes back on the sealed format so that deck lists are no longer visible in the sealed format, but in the Archon format that you can access your opponent's deck list at any time in Archon and Alliance. So some new kind of rules there in the tournament rules and guidelines. They also have some new rules in terms of going to time for tournaments. The final for tournaments now does not have a time limit, and it's best of 3, which is cool because it really sucks to have a final that's decided by going to time rules. So some good and interesting changes there. Some clarifications, some erratas. So check that out at keyforging.com. The other quick bit of news is there was a Keyforge GameFound campaign update for the Winds of Exchange, where they talked about the latest status of when we might get decks and how some of the translations are coming along for different languages. And they said that they're far along in the project already on Italian, Portuguese, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. They're early in the project for the other ones, and they did have to cancel the translation of Keyforge into Thai, unfortunately. But they did give also a shipping update that English decks should see shipment before the end of May, with international language decks maybe a bit later, depending on the speed of translation partners. So now we have a more concrete time for when we plan to see decks. So that's exciting. And then they just linked kind of their what's in the box for the 2-player starter set YouTube. So good stuff there. And now that's all the news. What's after the news? Fresh marks, of course. Reviewing the latest high SAS sales, not only from the last week, but from the last 2 weeks, because we missed it last week. And so let's jump right in. There's actually not as many as I would have expected from the last couple weeks. There was at least one new one today that I got on. Let's see, have there been any in the last few hours that I missed? No, there haven't been. So we're gonna cover everything from the last 2 weeks. We'll start opening them up. Because I got started a little bit later, didn't have time to open all these up beforehand, but it doesn't take long. Okay, so we're going to start out with the 85 SAS Mash Mutation deck. Uradwin, Gold Harbor Champion. Saurian Star Alliance, a little lull after the pink fraud sale. Yeah, that could be. But this one has 18 printed amber and Daedalus. Lots of creature control, a little bit of speed, some decent amber control, and 18 amber pips and a transporter platform with at least 3 upgrades that give you pips. So looks pretty nice. Yeah, transporter platform with Kirby and some good upgrades, so you can really pump up the Ember there potentially and get a lot of Kirby, subject Kirby hits. Yeah, some really nice stuff. Double marker disc, double string grave, shadow of disc, bouncing Daedalus with transporter platform. That would be pretty sweet. Yeah, it could get a little bit crazy. I agree. It looks pretty great. No listed price on this one. Only artifact control is Nudge. Well, besides that, looks like a pretty nice little deck. Most of the speed here coming from Starlines, the Kirby's, New Frontiers, and Survey. So I'm guessing the speed is actually a little bit overrated, but still pretty nice deck. Shadow of Dis is definitely a great rare. Yep. Next up, we have a 90 SAS Mesh Mutation, Nissa Wayvale Hag. This already has an offer of $275, which was just sent yesterday. Hasn't been responded to from Marvig. Last week it had an offer of $200 that was rejected. Let's check this one out. Disc Logo Star Alliance. Triple Discombobulator. That's really interesting. Double Chronos with 5 draw pips. Looks like we only have the potential for the Odd Claude having something in logos. The Odd Claude has 1 draw pip. Subject Kirby has 1 draw pip. Bonesaw has 2 draw pips, and Technofiend has draw pip. Okay. We have a Markadis, a Stirring Grave, a Essence Scale, Infernus, a couple fiends. We have a subject Kirby, an armory officer Nell with, it looks like 4 upgrades plus 2 explorer rovers. So potentially 6 upgrades for that Nell. It's got the tachyon pulse for artifact control, mind over matter. It definitely looks weird. Yeah, I'm not sure about the Troubadour here too. It does have the implosion in that gateway, so you potentially could kill it on the same turn. I actually think the efficiency is overrated here. I'm actually surprised at the offer so far. I agree that the Star Alliance is not the strongest either. You know, I think this is quite overrated actually. I'm surprised it's already got a $275 offer. What am I missing here? Because those are smart people making offers. 20 creatures, which isn't bad. One subject Kirby, so it can't do creature spam super well. I don't know. I don't think it's actually, I think it's a little bit overrated. But that is Nissa Wayvale Hag. $11 mutants. If it had some mutant synergy, that'd be pretty nice. Sacro Alien and Universal Translator. Yeah, I agree. Those are actually pretty good additions. Sacro Alien could definitely do some work. Same with Universal Translator, especially with 20 creatures. Yeah. Technofiend, Xenofiend could do some work potentially. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's better. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Moving on to Zacti Finder, the benevolent Ford Patron. A Logo Saurian Star Alliance 87 SAS Worlds Collide deck. Oh, has this already sold? Who was selling this before? It was being sold by Varlbear for $80. It looks like it's already been sold to Break the Sky. This one's already gone. Probably for the $80. It's got double Dasania, which is cool. It's got a United Action. A really cool Star Alliance with Kirby, Gray, Kirkar, Dongle, Quadricorder. Saurian is pretty good as well. Only 4 creature control, but 21 creatures. It definitely looks like an interesting deck, but it looks like it has already been sold. So we can say probably sold to Break the Sky here. Okay. Next up we have Boone. Forum Courier. 85 SAS Worlds Collide deck. It's got a listed price of $500. This has 4 eddies. Oh yeah. Dinobot says Compsos Haruspux with a Dasania is pretty fun and unique. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any other decks like that. That's really cool. But this one, 4 eddies, really cool, with a Knowledge's Power as well. Let's see, any other archiving to go with that? And a Code Monkey? 4 eddies, a Code Monkey. and a knowledge is power, you could get some really nice bursts with that knowledge is power. In the Saurium, we have triple tribute with Primus Unguis, so you could make your creatures super powerful. Double Reader Golem, Spartasaur, Tricerian Legionary. This looks like a Dinobot deck with a Spartasaur. And then in Star Alliance, we have Kirby, Driscoll, Kirkar, Ingram, Double Dongle, Quadricorder. Only artifact controls remote access. Yeah, I agree. This one would definitely take some mastery to play. The 4 eddies is really nice. Creature protection, we have a couple taunts with a Legionary and Kirkar, and then we do have some warding that goes around too, and the Primus Unguis to pump up the power. So those eddies could probably put in a lot of work. Lots of interesting tools. I agree. The creature control is actually pretty poor. You probably don't want to play the General Order 24 because you either want your Eddies, Saurian, or Star Alliance to stay on the board. Red Alert, maybe, but probably, in certain situations it'll be effective, but you're probably wanting to use your Spartasaur here for creature control, but that also kills your Eddies. Yeah, this one probably takes some work to master. What's up, Ketzer? Nice to see you. And that's got a nice list price of $500. Okay, next up, we gotta check the translator for the next couple decks. It's a 95 SAS Worlds Collide. We have Gray Archives Executioner Agatha. Oh, I feel like we've had that one before. Agatha. Beansoul by Arentalong. Oh, I think this one was... Yeah. The next two were Beansoul by Anthony Boygod. And now are being sold by Arentalong. So apparently they bought them, and now they're trying to resell them. No listed price on this one. Triple stealth mode, double Eddie, Tau, Code Monkey Daughter, double Tricerian Legionary is nice. Unguis, Philophosaurus, Orator Hisaro, Golden Spiral, double Senator Strix, Saurus Rex is a really nice Saurian lineup. The triple stealth mode is pretty disruptive. Limited amber control, you probably really need to keep those eddies alive. But 95 SAS, pretty crazy deck. Some spicy decks. All right, next up, we have another one that needs a translation. We have Proud Starport Missionary Tobias. Used to be sold by Anthony Boygod, now being sold by Arentalong. It's a Sins deck with 3 Sins, Desire, Greed, and Sloth. Infernus, Grim Reminder, Obsidian Forge, Waking Nightmare. 19 creatures to go with that Obsidian Forge. We have a Enhanced QMax, which is always fun to check out what it's enhanced with. It's enhanced with a draw pip. Very nice. We have a Dark Amber Vault with 10 mutants. That's pretty good. Citizen Strix, Damosaurus, Umbrasaurus, Saurus Rex, Spoils of Battle, Double Defense Initiative. Makes that board pretty sticky. Ancient Power as well. Yeah, this one is pretty spicy. That Dark Amber Vault is gonna do some work. And good synergies with the creatures, yeah, definitely. The Grim Reminders, it's actually good in pretty much all of the houses. Probably not going to do Saurian because it's only got 4 creatures, but 3 of those are mutants and they're actually pretty good creatures. Probably want to be doing it on this here, but yeah, lots of mutants and logos too. Drawing a whole bunch. Yeah, there's some good stuff here. Okay. On to Alberta D behind vom Basar. 94 SAS Worlds Collide deck. This logo Starlines being sold by Ken6T with a listed price of 1,000 euros. Just gonna tell you right now, that is not worth 1,000 euros, but let's check it out. Does have some nice speed, triple daughter, Zenzi Zenzi Zenzik, Eddie, Tau Tau. It's got an Exhume, Library of the Damned, EE on the fringes, Greater Oxtet, double stealth mode, transporter platform with Kirby, Ingram, double stunner. It looks like a great deck. It does not look like it's worth 1,000 euros. Not worth it. Whoa. Actually, it's fairly limited on the Ember control. Efficiency is pretty good, especially that it has it in kind of all 3 houses. If you get the Library of Damned early, the Greater Oxtet early, it definitely could do some work. It's definitely not a bad deck. Yeah, Greater Oxtet is nice addition. Okay. They're not accepting offers. Too bad. All right, next up we have Laura Sasonka Wladzsnia Koskiola. An 87 SAS Worlds Collide deck being sold by Fev A1. No listed price on this one. This logo Saurian, we have a triple Rock Grub, a triple Odoak the Patrician, a double Information Exchange, a double Collar of Subordination. What a cool double rare. Wow, that's pretty sweet. Library of the Dam, Snag's Mirror, Poltergeist, Interdimensional Graft, Eddie. Although no taunts for Eddie, there are some ways to protect it with Hologramophone and Imperium, but would have like a taunt for the Eddie. Double Tribute, but the only way to protect that Ember is an Imperial Scutum. Or potentially setting up a good graph play. Oh yeah, Snag is definitely also one of my favorites. Triple Rocker Up sounds super annoying for sure. Double Collar of Subordination. Just think of the possibilities there. That's pretty cool. Not a ton of speed, not a ton of creature control. Decent Expected Ember, lots of Ember control. So that is Laura. No list price. Next up, being sold by Kaveld, is Poklebna Zofia Z Ostrolecki, an 85 Sasworld's Collide deck. No list price. Logo Saurian Untamed. We have a Tau Tau, Dr. Millie, Neutron Shark, Knowledge is Power, double Phalanx Strike, double Tribute. No way to really get this Ember except we have the Library of Polyosaurus and the double chant of Hubris. We do have the Steno, or the Centurion Stenopius. We could make that super huge with attributes. In Untamed, Nature's Call, Punctuated Equilibrium, Musik Murmuk. Interesting deck. Maybe they don't like the board and that's why they're selling? Yeah. This one is 16 creatures. It's got 6 in logos. Only 4 in Saurian. 5 in Untamed. And yeah, I don't think they're the best creatures really. Yeah, limited reap effects. Yeah, actually they're not that great of creatures. Yeah, I don't think they're probably doing a lot of bursts in this deck. It does have nice 15 printed Ember, but not super bursty. Knowledge of Power is nice, but you only have Tau Tau and Dr. Millie. You'd have to get a super big Dr. Millie to make the Knowledge and Power really bursty. Maybe if you had a really good Dr. Millie hit, you could get both Knowledge of Power App and Data Forge on the next turn after you pull it back in your hand. Yeah, I don't know. All right, next up we have Bathsheba, Gata Negra La Energica, an 86 SAS AoA deck being sold by Nico90 PS for only 80 euros. And this is a little bit spicy. We got the triple lab work, the double Archimedes, Titan Librarian. In Mars, we have the Extinction for some good creature control. Hypno Beam, the Glixo Proliferator, the Nizik Resonator with a Dominator to protect it. Double Beam Buckler, and then a really nice Shadows here with double Too Much to Protect. Double Ronnie Wrist Clocks, a Nerve Blast, a Life for the Life, and a double Furtive Investors. That could be some really big bursts there. If nothing else, that's a rocking Shadows pod. But yeah, Resonator and the Too Much to Protect is really good. Resonator and the Cutthroat Research. Resonator and the Ronnie Wrist Clocks. There's a lot of synergies that goes along with that Resonator. Some really nice stuff there. Triple Lab Works can kind of store the Too Much to Protect for later, or any other key cards. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a Bouncing Death Cork to go with the Archimedes. Maybe if you're lucky, you can get some Life for Life next to the Archimedes. You probably want to be using Extinction against them. Actually, their creature control is pretty limited in this deck. You definitely need to get some good value out of Extinction. There is a lot of little pink stuff though. Double Whistling Darts, Double Beam Buckler, Mother Gun, Nerve Blast. No way to make him pay with a Mars Needs Ember, unfortunately. Yeah, pretty cool little deck. With an offer, an asking price of €80. Next up, we have Fabius, the never-ending 88 SAS Worlds Collide deck. With a list price for $200 being sold by Jackie W, aka Fatal Putsch. Dislogosarian. This has a anomaly Timequake, which I don't think I have in any deck. I don't think I've ever played Timequake before. It also's got double Tau Vapors, Interdimensional Graft, Memory Chip, Eddy. It does have 2 Tricerian Legionaries, which could potentially protect the Eddy, so that's not bad. It's got the Callipygian Ideal, Falaphosaurus. Not too much Ember that Callipygian Ideal can get off. Maybe on the Questioner Jarda, or with the Phalanx Strikes, or on the Odawak. Oh yeah, and I agree. With the memory chips and Tau, you can definitely set up a really big steel play with EE. I also have a deck similar to this. Archive all your discs and then steal it all with EE. And it's also got an Infernus and an Exhume. A Fair Game is pretty cool. Bornage Touch is really nice. Double Misery Exploit are probably going to be discarded to the EE. It's got a little bit of ping damage. Not a ton. What's up, Murph? Nice to see you. Dubious. Definitely could be clunky. Like any deck. I think it shows some promise, though. Shows some promise. Seems pretty good. List price of $200. And that's Fabius, the Never-Ending. Yeah, if you get Eddy and Graft at the right times, you can definitely do some work. All right, next up, we need a translation. We have Cave Shaman, Yolanda Lightning, an 87 SAS Worlds Collide deck, Logos Saurian Star Alliance, also with a listed price of $200, also being sold by Jackie W, aka Fatal Putsch. We have triple Comm Officer Kirby, double Medic Ingram, Kirby's Blaster, double Universal Translator, 22 creatures overall. Psionic Officer Lang. In Saurian, we have triple Imperial Scutum, Tricerian Legionary. We have double Odoacta Patrician. Tribute, Crassosaurus. 6 Semper to go with our Tribute and Crassosaurus. In Logos, we have double Hologramophone, double Daughter, double Eddy, double Titan Guardian. We have very limited creature control here with just a Phalanx Strike, an Anomaly Exploiter, a 6 Semper, Regrettable Meteor, and Kirby's Blaster. We have no artifact control. But besides that, it looks actually really good with the 22 creatures, a 21 speed. The high roll on this deck is super gross. $200. High roll on the other deck too, but if they have lots of creature control, I think they can also just shut you down really easily. But you do have the double medic Ingram. You have some things that would be really annoying. Double hologrammophone. Triple Scutum is really nice with both the Tribute and the Crassosaurus and the Odoax. So it's got a lot of nice stuff there. Alright, and the last deck. Yeah, no actions and logos for the Kirby. That is actually pretty sad. With the 22 creatures, that's 22 creatures. That's where the triple Kirby's isn't as impactful. You can play one of the 4 artifacts, though, so that's not bad. But yeah, no actions. But you could actually get Tribute 6 Semper in Starlines with the triple Kirby's. Or Tribute Imperial Scutum. Hey, what's up, Lazarus? Nice to see you. Okay, and last deck for these last 2 weeks. Leila la Sognante Docente della Fogna, a 90 Sass Worlds Collide deck. No surprise, being sold by Osorlek. We have triple Cutthroat Research, double Hologrammophone. We have a Daughter, Igor Titan Guardian. We have triple Ronnie Risklocks, a Shadow Council, double Umbra, Breaker Hill, a Hawk, a hit and run to go with those Ronnies. And then we have double Kirby's, and yes, they're definitely more happy because we have a lot of actions and artifacts in Logos and Shadows. We also have triple Red Alert with only 14 creatures, so that's pretty good. A Stealth Mode, a Transporter platform, which can make the Kirby's extra powerful. Light of the Archons, a Force Field, and a Quadricorder, and a Dongle, so you could potentially bounce 3 Ember worth of pips on upgrades, which is pretty nice. The one stealth mode, not a ton of speed, but there's some speed there. Most of your creature control is actually those red alerts, so you gotta hold on to those. And probably not want to go too big. Probably want to really limit your creatures here, which will probably be pretty easy with only 14. So that you can always get good red alert value to control their board. How many red alerts is too many? Oh, I think it depends on the deck. Our cutthroat research is. Yeah, the cutthroat research is here. I guess you do have the quadricorder, so potentially with that you could get some value out of that. You're probably playing it on one of their creatures. All of your creatures are going to die. But still, even then, 3 cutthroat researches is probably a little bit too many. The triple red alert, actually, I don't think that's too many in this deck. I think this deck probably needs it. Although it would have been better to have probably Chew and maybe either like a Bouncing Death Cork or a Standardized Testing and Logos or something like that for some other creature control in a different house. Maybe you can Voltron, yeah, with a Force Field, Dongle, Light of the Archons, and Quadricorder. That's definitely a good option. with a Kirby or something and a transporter platform. Or a Garcia. Garcia actually synergizes really well with Cutthroat Research. And especially if you're bouncing it, that could be pretty good. Yeah, this one, I feel like if you could play it a whole bunch and really get it down, this could be really effective deck. All right. And that was our 2 weeks in Fresh Marks. Yeah. So, what else do we have coming up? We do have Zoc Tales episode 2 coming up in a few weeks. We have what did I just say? We have Zach Armstrong coming from Call of Discovery. That's going to be on Thursday, May 11th, 7:30 Pacific. Really looking forward to that one. Zach is always interesting and always full of charisma. That should be a really good, fun discussion. That one's coming up in a couple weeks. We also have, tentatively, we have our ABR match Friday at 4 o'clock Pacific. It's going to be Adaptive versus Red Train. So that should be coming up Friday. Oh, hi, Zark. That's right. We are going to rename Zach Armstrong to Zark on this episode. Sorry for the spoilers. Should be a great conversation. Zark!
Zark.
There you go. So that's what we got coming up. We don't actually have a NKFL match for the rest of the week because the NKFL was going 2 weeks with week 3. But then actually I don't even know what my next match who it is against, but we'll have an NKFL match coming up soon after that. Ooh, Evil Zark. I don't know, we might get Sweaty Zark actually. You don't know. Zark. So that's what we got coming up. Looking really forward to that conversation with Zark, aka Zach Armstrong. Should be a lot of fun. Gonna try and put in some fun and interesting questions. If you guys have any interesting questions for Zark, aka Zach, please let me know. Ping me on Discord. Would love to hear your ideas. But that's it for the stream today. Thank you everybody thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next time. Nice seeing you all, and have a good night, a good day. Forge responsibly. Some very cool decks tonight, definitely. Take care. But remember,
this is Keyforge.
See everyone.